Hello, everyone. This unit is talking about how do we understand online learning content in two formats. And this unit really is based on what Horton calls for two parts, two different types of online learning content. One type is called the absorb type. The other type is called the do type. So the absorb type is what really is our focus here. This is a metaphor. How do we understand the presentation of information from online learning environment? So you can imagine the absorb type as disseminating knowledge and information, and the learners will be like sponge that absorbs such information. But in order for them to have an effective learning experience, we need to make it as engaging as possible. So the absorb type content really has a lot of different types. So Horton mentions several types, several examples. For example, one of the most common types is the PowerPoint presentations, or software demonstrations to show us how to use of software step by step, usually with screenshots, or extend examples. And Horton also mentions things like stories or scenarios to show. Okay. So these are some of the main types of absorb type content. So when we are delivering such content in an online environment, we want to pay attention some of the key principles, how to make this as engaging as possible. Okay, and based on research, Meyer have come up with 12 principles in delivering such online content. So I'm gonna introduce these 12 principles briefly. The first principle is the coherence principle. Based on research, we are actually better learners if we are presented with relevant pictures and sounds. So we do not want to put in irrelevant words or pictures or sounds when we are delivering content. The second principle is the signaling principle. Basically, it refers to the fact that we are better learners if the material that we're delivering are highlighted and in an organized way. So we learn better with highlighted organization of these online content, such as this annotated map here with different captions and numbers. The third principle is that called redundancy principle. So people are learning better from graphics and narration than from graphics narration with text on the screen. So we want to reduce the amount of text, but rather provide narration, the audio input, with visual input. The next principle is called the spatial contiguity principle. This basically means that when we are presenting information and knowledge in an online environment, we want the words and pictures that are corresponding to each other near each other. So spatially, we want them to be close. And the next principle is called the temporal contiguity principle. This refers to the fact that we learn better if we are presented words and pictures simultaneously. So we do not want to do the provide a picture first and then the narration or the words, or the vice versa. We want to present them together. There's also a principle called the segmenting principle. People learn better from a multimedia lesson if we present it in a user-paced segments. The next principle is also called the pre-training principle. So people are actually learning better if we are pre-exposed to some of the names and characteristics. And the next principle is the modality. So this refers to the fact that we want to have multimodal input, such as graphics and narration. And the next is multimedia principle. So people are learning better from words and pictures. And the next is personalization principle. So we want to present information in a conversational style. And the next principle is the voice principle. So we want to pay attention to our narration so that we have a friendly voice rather than a voice out of a machine. Alright, the last principle is the image principle. So we do not necessarily learn better if we are presented with the instructor's or speaker's image. Alright, another important way to make our online content engaging is through storytelling. And storytelling entails these 5 steps. So the introduction, the incident, or the rising action, then the stakes, and then the event or the climax of the event, and then finally a resolution. So we can use storytelling in our online delivery of content by using teacher who tell stories or by letting learners to tell stories. A combination of both of these would work best. And finally, I present a short video on 3 principles to master storytelling. And you can click this link to watch the video.
The ability to tell a story well can literally
Thank you.
transform your life. It can land you a job in a crowded applicant pool, make you stand out on a